All right, you're live.
Fine. Okay, thanks, Kayla. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Today is June 8th. This is the BIA Board of Management online meeting for the month of June. So I just want to take a minute and say thank you everyone for coming. I know it's probably about 40 degrees out there, and I'm sure you all have lots of other things you'd rather be doing, like maybe having a cold drink on your patios. So I do appreciate you for taking the time and coming and joining us. So we'll try and get through things as quickly as we can tonight so everyone can get on their way. Oh, I just saw some Doug Measures joined us.
Okay. Oh, hey, here.
I'd also like to make mention that Pierre Marcoux is here. So he is the Vice President of Purple Hills Arts and Heritage Society, and he's going to join us tonight. And Pierre, I hope I'm not going to put you on the spot, but I'd love to have like a 2-minute update about what's going on in Purple Hills as well, if you don't mind. And
no problem. You want it right now?
Yeah, get ready.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you a heads up.
Okay.
We're just going to go through a couple administrative things where we talk about agenda and all that fun stuff, and then I'm going to add you to the minutes. I'm sorry, to the meeting agenda, probably close to the top. So if you need to hop off early, that's no problem. Okay, so thank you again, and let's get started with the approval of tonight's agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to add or subtract or comments on the agenda tonight? Oh, don't see any hands. Okay. Does anyone want to add anything to tonight's agenda? No? Okay. Linda, did you want to add something about the possibility of talking about, street closures and sidewalk sales under new business?
Would we need to add that? Yeah, sure. So I have spoken to Mylin, and they have pretty much sorted themselves out as far as patio is concerned. So they actually wouldn't need street closures for that.
Okay. We don't need to talk about it now, but I'm just asking you if you want to add
it. Okay, sure.
We can discuss if needed. Because I saw that on the minutes from last week. So is 11.2 under new business about street closures for the summer. And then if there's nothing else, can I get somebody to make a motion to approve tonight's agenda? Be it resolved that the Creemore Business Improvement Area Management Board hereby approves the agenda dated June 8th, 2021 as presented.
Make a motion.
Somebody to make the motion? Thank you, Jackie. And Jen, would you like to second the motion? Thank you very much. Okay, great. So at this point, I'd like to ask if anybody has a conflict of interest or disclosure of disqualifying interest and nature thereof. So if you have anything you're not quite sure about, or you want to motion to me if you want to, back off from a certain discussion or an agreement if you feel you have a conflict of interest. We're okay so far? All right, so let's go to the approval of the minutes for May 11th. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to make the meeting, but I did read the minutes. Do I have somebody that would like to approve the minutes from the May 11th meeting? The resolution is, be it resolved that the Creemore BIA Management Board hereby approves the meeting minutes dated May 11th, 2021.
Sure.
Thanks, Jackie, for making that motion. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Doug. Okay, great. Alrighty, so moving right along. If you don't mind, I'm gonna put business arising from the minutes. Why don't we put Pierre up here up front if we don't mind, and maybe he can give us a bit of an overview. Just sorry to put you on the spot, Pierre, but it's so nice of you to join us tonight. He asked if he could join because he wants, I know Purple Hills is really keen to work together a lot more with the BIA. And I think that's the purpose of your visit with us tonight. And so if you wanted to just take a minute or so and just explain what's going on at Purple Hills, I think we'd all be interested to hear what's happening on your side of the world.
Okay, great. In a nutshell, nothing is happening. Actually, seriously though, the thought that we had at Purple Hills is that when restrictions start to ease, we probably want to sort of try and align our calendars and make sure that there's no conflicts. Now, I know there's an event calendar under creemore.com which is all fine and good. I don't know if there is a event planning calendar anywhere, something where we can all sort of throw our concepts into the basket and, basically make sure we're not, treading on each other's toes.
I don't know if there is. I think we've always defaulted to the Creemore Echo, which is creemore.com for their event planning. Are you suggesting like some sort of like a Google Drive type calendar? Have you guys ever done that in the past? Or have you done that in the past with groups here?
Well, that might be.
And the Purple Hills, I have set up Google calendars to ensure that everybody knew it was happening. You need people to work them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah, there is a Google Calendar set up already?
For Purple Hills, yes. And for the BIA, yes.
Okay, but they're two separate items.
It would be very easy for Purple Hills to invite BIA to them and vice versa, so we could cross-reference for sure. I think that's a really useful tool.
I think I see the value, Pierre, and in the future, maybe putting one giant calendar together for the entire village. That's something maybe we could work towards. But I think Sarah has an idea there. If we've already got it going for this year, we could just use what we have and invite each other to view our calendars, because certainly we would definitely be interested in cross-promoting and working with all the community groups, as they are what they're doing. Mayor Measures, did you have a question?
Thanks, Laura. I just wanted to mention, of course, clearview.ca has a pretty extensive calendar that promotes events happening right across the entire township. And some of them are, smaller events, and some of them are little church organizations, but it's a pretty good collection of events that are happening right across all of Clearview Township. So certainly I would encourage anybody who wants to promote anything like that to use that service for sure.
Okay.
Clearview.ca. Okay, great. Yeah, I think the only other item I have to mention is that we're looking at publishing a small brochure, and it's basically a brochure that shows the plaques within Creemore and all that, and I think it's more an FYI. So,
oh, nice. So is it like a walking tour of all the historical plaques?
That's correct. There's a large one and a small one. I think at this point, because it has to be updated, we're going to start with the small one and then maybe work towards the larger one. There's also an initiative to bring on an online interactive walking tour. My understanding, we haven't seen the prototype yet, but my understanding is that it would allow people to use their phones to walk around about town and see the events. So
that's fantastic. That's really interesting. That would be something that we would be very interested in putting on our website under Experience Creemore, because I think we're always looking for what's going on around town, so that when people like day trippers or visitors come to our town, they look, there's I think a section, on experiences. I think that would be really interesting to add there. Even if you have the brochure, in a digital format, I think it might be interesting to have a link to it there. So thanks for that. That'd be really great. Do you have anything else, Pierre, that you'd like to talk to us about Purple Hills? And I know it's hard right now because we're all in lockdown.
Well, being an optimist, I expected that by now everything would be back to normal, but apparently that's not the case. I don't know if you'd noticed that some of the restaurants aren't even open. Sorry, that was a joke.
Pierre has very dry humor.
But
you just want
that's it.
Up.
Yeah. That's it for me, though. So I thank you for your time, and yeah, maybe a good idea to leverage the various calendars to keep ourselves informed. Obviously, I don't think the restrictions are going to end so abruptly that we'll have conflicts, but it's always good to at least have some idea of what the other groups are doing.
Totally agree. That's great. Fantastic. And then sadly, I think I saw a posting that the arts festival this year has been canceled. Did I see a posting about that recently?
Yes, there's some other sort of ideas popping around. And of course, nothing can be really set in stone until we are able to move.
Okay.
So, that's where we are, right?
Yeah, no, of course. And we understand it takes a lot of time to prepare these events. So obviously you have to take those decisions a lot further in advance than you'd probably want to. Okay,
True.
that's great.
Can I just make a suggestion, Pierre?
Yes.
Instead of like going to use all the Google calendars that nobody seems to use, which is unfortunate. Maybe it would be great if there was somebody on Purple Hills who was a liaison to the BIA, a designated person, and I'm assuming that's you, who could just email Lori perhaps, or the chair, whoever the chair is, with whatever's going on, so we do have a feed of communication from you, like some information from you as a heads up.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
That's really simple, right? Like just to
And
send it
realistic.
out. Yeah.
And realistic. I know it's
Yeah, and realistic, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried elaborate methods to ensure everybody was informed, and the issue tends to be people don't update them and they don't look at them.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
just like your personal calendar, it's the same. So, but we will do everything we can to help keep everybody informed.
Awesome. Okay,
Excellent.
great. Well, thank you.
Great.
Thank you for joining. And
That's
you're
all I
welcome-
have.
Yeah, and you're welcome to stay and listen if you like, or if you need to hop off, that's okay too. So it's up to you.
All right. Thank you very much. Good to see everybody.
Yeah,
One of these days, it might even be in person, eh?
yeah, exactly.
Pierre, are you leaving the meeting?
I think I will, yes.
Okay, so just a heads up, later on in the meeting, I'm just letting everybody presenting about a historical walking tour. It's a guided tour and a tasting tour as well. So that might kind of tie in
Purple
what
Hill.
you guys are doing, or you might want to follow up on that at some point. So,
Certainly, yeah. Tasting tour?
a historical walking tour, a guided historical walking tour that incorporates a tasting tour as well.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'd certainly like.
Patio tour.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, patio tour.
Count me in.
Okay.
I'd like to hear more about that. Yes, please. If someone could just relay the information.
Yeah, or you're welcome to hang on here and we can get
Let him go.
Or the other thing is, I believe our meeting minutes are posted to the Clearview website, so you can check the meeting minutes and they'll have the information on it. So,
Good. Thank you.
okay, awesome.
Cool.
Thank
Okay,
All
so
right.
I'm just going to go into number 5 now, business arising from the minutes. Payment options. I think this is Sarah, are we not prepared to talk about this, are we?
I am prepared to talk
Cool.
about this.
Sorry, I was going to let you off the hook there. Okay.
I contacted Kelly at the municipality to talk about entering into an agreement with a provider similar to Square, where there is not the possibility for taking out money. It's just a payment and then it goes directly into our bank account. She says she doesn't have direction from council to do this at this time, and she would have to look into the security systems involved. She asked specifically when we would use this type of service, and I used the examples of a vintage festival, a collection of small donations, and for sales at events and activities like our bars. So I hope that we've been able to make some kind of a compelling argument to move forward and get permission to use a process like this. She did recommend using TD and their credit card processing, but it's $40 just to buy in each month. So at that point, it's not worth it for us. That's why this pay-as-you-go kind of system that is Square would be much better for us. So I've made that, and I see that I have 2 members of council here, and some direction from council to staff to look at ensuring that volunteer organizations are able to serve their community in a way that is in keeping with current technological expectations and service expectations would be very helpful for us. So that's where we got to. They were very helpful, and I hope that we've started a conversation that will help not only the BIA, but every single volunteer organization within Clearview.
Okay. You know what? That's huge. because we struggle, I know, from the Vintage Fest standpoint on these things. Okay, that's great, Sarah. So hopefully, Doug, yeah, did you have a follow-up?
Oh, since Sarah's thrown down the gauntlet there, Sarah, yeah, I'll talk to the mayor and we'll discuss it and see how best, the best way to proceed. And yeah, Doug and I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Things to keep in
Because,
mind
to
when
be
you're
honest-
talking. Things to keep in mind
Sorry,
when
you've
you're
been talking. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry about the delay. Things to keep in mind
Yeah.
are the pay-as-you-go aspect of it is very important to small organizations, and the online tracking is very helpful as well. So I do know that staff's recommendation was to continue to use e-transfers, which requires me emailing information to the sender, then them emailing the transfer to the treasurer, then the treasurer emailing it to me. So that's, or sorry, mailing it to me in the form of a check. So that's the current process, and it's just, it doesn't work for small amounts, and it doesn't work for in-person purchases.
Right.
Yeah, Doug?
Okay. And
I can just
you're-
jump in
you're
here
talking
too,
to somebody that,
Brian.
I'm sorry, I think with the delay, I'm just gonna
Go
let
ahead,
Doug
Doug.
me finish and then Doug measures.
No, I was just going to say that, I'm sort of technically challenged myself. I mean, I still have, the most advanced I have is a credit card in my wallet. So, you've been in discussion with Kelly on this, Sarah. So, I feel like I'm a little bit behind, but I know that Doug is more up to speed on these things. So that's why I'm thinking that maybe he and we can discuss it and bring something, maybe make a recommendation or whatever. So anyway, I'll let the mayor speak, and I'll take my lead from him.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Right, lead it down the road there, Doug. That's great. To Sarah, you're absolutely right. Technological advances to support volunteerism is a giant problem when legislative responsibility that's in the hands and direction to the staff is not keeping up with modern, technology, and so it's an ongoing challenge. I've actually heard about this very issue at the Nottawa Hall. Someone wanted to take a payment, and it's just complicated to do e-transfers to email addresses that we don't even have access to. So I appreciate this, and this is actually a really good point. Very timely, by the way, because I'm going to be having a meeting with Jay Anstey, who is our auditor, and I'm going to bring that up with him and ask him about volunteerism and supporting volunteers and small purchases and small transactions in an audit phase, and how we can support the municipality and do that. So our independent auditor is bringing their reports to the council meeting coming up, and so I'll have a meeting with him as mayor. I always meet with the auditors independently of all the staff, so it's give me an opportunity to bring something up that's new. So thanks for that, Sarah.
Okay, I know that in the past, PayPal has been frowned upon because it has both incoming and outgoing financial implications. That's why I'm proposing that they look very strongly at something like Square, where it is a simple purchaser to Square to bank account, therefore eliminating the ability for any individual to access that money without it first going directly into the organization's bank account. So I don't know if there's other examples of municipalities that use this, but I certainly hope so. And then we can just follow their lead.
Yeah, I'll just finish up there too. That's a really good point about Square. I tell you what, I'm going to investigate. I don't know if anybody on this group knows, but the Chamber of Commerce have opportunity to get a great service from the banking system through the Chamber of Commerce memberships. So I'm just going to investigate that and see whether, the township is a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and whether we could get that type of service through the Chamber of Commerce that we could then use in our volunteer sector. That might be something I'll look into.
The TD Bank is $35 a month plus the terminal. So that's very expensive.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's too expensive for an organization like us that would only use it a handful of times. That's why one of these pay-as-you-go services would be my recommendation.
Thanks for the info.
Okay, thank you.
We'll look forward to an update on the next meeting. Okay, perfect. Billboards, I think was Heather, and I may have to skip that as Heather's not joining us. Does anyone else have any info on the billboards? No, I'm gonna skip that for next meeting. Rat cards. Do we want to put rat cards here? I guess we do. Sort of an odd place. I figured we'd want to talk about lavender in general and rat cards being part of it, but here we are, 5.3. Maybe Sarah, you want to talk about rat cards, or you want to just skip it until we talk about all the lavender stuff?
Lavender, yeah.
Okay, so let's just put a little pin on that for a minute. Street decor update. Oh boy, there's lots going on here. Okay, so where's Sarah? Oh, there she, oh, you just changed squares. Okay, so Sarah, do you want to tell us a little bit about all the work you've been doing in getting people to paint the chairs? We've got our flowers on the street. They're being watered regularly by Clearview Township. Thank you very much, Clearview Township. It's a huge job. We see the guy with the truck every week and we're thrilled about that.
I'm so sorry.
It's so great this year. And then the chairs. We have the chairs. We purchased the chairs. They're being painted as we speak, I think. Yeah. And in a lovely color of lavender. There's been wonderful sponsorship on the chairs. Do you want to mention anything about, do you want to just talk about that as part of street decor?
Sure, I'll talk about it. It's all kind of intertwined.
Yeah.
So do you want me to talk about it now? Okay, so the chairs, I guess since our last meeting when everybody was willing to back the pitch on the promo of the fundraiser, I put it on Facebook, and within a couple hours we had 12 sponsors. We were able to purchase 2 additional chairs. So that was terrific. So thanks to all of our sponsors. I do have a list. We have the plaques all made and they're ready to go on the chairs. Thanks to Linda and Marcy. Linda DeWinter and Marcy Stewart have done some painting. At some point, I realized we needed a hired gun, and we used some of the money that we used, or that we were able to do with the fundraising. We've used that to have the chairs painted. So Darcy Q is painting those chairs for us. And the goal had been to have everything out for the 15th when we reopen for step 1. So, but step 1 is now Friday. So I'm kind of busting out and trying to get this organized so that we will have them for this weekend, but I'm not certain how realistic that is. I'm relying on a lot of people taking time that they don't have to get this all together. So,
Sarah, I think we shouldn't kill ourselves because Doug Ford decided to move up the date and screwed all of us in a way because we were all ready for the 15th. Yeah. I think if we're ready on the 15th, 4 days is not going to kill us.
No, it's not going to kill us.
It's struggling to get it all together.
Yeah. So that's where those chairs are. So that was fantastic. It paid for the chairs, which was actually a budgeted item. So we ended up with a surplus there, which is absolutely fantastic. That's the chairs. The planters are going well despite the snow. That's fantastic. They've been fertilized. The watering is working well. The municipality is working well. I have Tristan Smith out. He is cleaning up underneath the trees. You'll notice he's been out, and hopefully he'll have that mulched. Again, the goal was the 15th. We'll see when he gets it done. We've also cleaned up the beds in front of Foodland and the lawyer, and I think his grandmother is going to plant some flowers in there for us. That's Liz Smith, who also takes care of the trees. So that works very nicely, that the person who takes care of the trees, it's her grandson that is also taking care of the trees. So he's taking direction directly from the Tree Society on how to manage those trees, which is great. Other things I'm going to get him to do is just maybe go around and weed whack the streets. There are a lot of weeds everywhere, so we will get him to do that as well. In terms of other street decor, Lori, do you want to talk about the bunting?
Yes, I do. Before we move on to bunting, I'm going to talk about the trees a little bit. So some retailers have reached out to me about concern about the gypsy moths in the trees on Mill Street. It's
terrible.
Infestation in Creemore right now. I think all of you know that. And there's been some retailers who have been concerned about just having such a problem, you know, people browsing on the street and having these things falling on them and asking how we can remedy that or what we can do to save our trees. I've reached out to Liz Smith. I've also reached out to Terry from Township to ask if they're doing anything in the parks. Apparently they're not doing anything in the parks for gypsy moths. There's no remedy for that situation. So he doesn't know if they're going to do anything. They're waiting for, I think, the Ministry of the Environment to take direction about what remedies they can take on the trees. But certainly those downtown trees are very important to us. And I think there is a big concern growing about these moths in those trees, that they're eating the trees, but also that, from a visitor perspective, getting that rash on you from those falling caterpillars while you're walking the street of Creemore is not a very pleasant experience, right? So, or if you're sitting on a patio, at Oda's or something, and you've got these things falling, it's not very pleasant. So I think he said that maybe I need to talk to the planning department because infestations might be their department. So I don't know, still sort of a new thing for me once again. So this job is never a
I
dull.
took a walk just from the pharmacy down a block with a bank manager yesterday, and he was covered, like his pants were covered. And I was like, you have moths all over you. He's swiping them off. I can't imagine. Yeah.
Cindy
Like
Gordon said
sitting
they're
on a patio, like you
Yeah.
said, it's disgusting.
Yeah, and
is
Cindy
there a
Gordon said they're on
solution?
her building. It's
Is there a solution? Like, is there some kind of a thing that we can,
That's what I'm asking Township, because I think if I do something, it has to be in lockstep with what they're doing, whether it's taping the trees or putting some sort of spray. I don't know. I'm
the
not an
trees.
expert,
unfortunately?
but we will be taking direction from them. And also I've reached out to Liz Smith, who is the head of the Tree Society here, to ask her what we can do as well. And she's going to get back to me. But
Can I ask also about our sidewalks? Have they all been swept? Because my side is a mess, and I know even like the side streets, they have been done.
They have
Okay.
maybe they need to
Quickly.
do it again.
I was
Okay.
noticing the same thing, Jen, and I was actually going to put a call out if everybody agreed, because what happened is they did a great job in the early spring. Then once the flowers once the trees have their initial flower and they drop the flower, it gets really gummy again.
Mhm.
And then also, I think the fact that they've been jackhammering 24/7 at the at the station the past week and a half certainly hasn't been helping with the dirt. I do know that we had a couple different sweepings last year, but maybe Doug, maybe you are more familiar with the allocations on that street sweeping, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
I don't think the corner, like, because I'm on a corner, so I Mill Street seems okay, but Caroline does not seem okay. Like, I don't think that winter dirt has been removed on my side.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good to note. I don't mind reaching out to Dan Perot and just popping an email in his direction. He's very responsive, and just asking him, mentioning that, we've had a couple concerns about the sidewalk sweeping and the tree debris, and then seeing if we're on the agenda or if he can bump it up a bit for us now that we're reopening to do another sweep. I will take that on. Do either of the Dougs have any comments from council? No? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and Lori, can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was just thinking about these gypsy moths, and I do know there is a spray that but I think it's only for the the nurseries and such to use, because it's quite toxic. I know that general homeowners can't use it. There's another spray that homeowners can use. It's called BH or BT or something like that.
BTK.
I think that what Terry said about not the townships not doing anything in the parks, I can sort of understand that, maybe because I think it is so widespread right now. I mean, it's really, really bad. And by the time, I'll be honest with you, I think by the time they get organized to doing something, the problem will pretty much be over for this year. Because I was just reading up on it, and I think sometime in July, then they're going to be done their larva stage, and they're going to be pupated or whatever, and then they turn into a moth. Maybe moths will be another plague that we'll have when they're actually a moth. But at least they won't be in the trees eating the leaves and falling on people. I have the same problem here. I have the trees wrapped in tape right now, duct tape, and it's not working. And they say to wrap them in burlap too, and I don't know if that works either. I've just sort of given up on them, and I've got a lot of trees in my property with them, and I just figure, well, you know, I'll have to live with it. But I was down in Creemore on Saturday morning, and yeah, I was walking down Mill Street, and I was, you know, brushing them off of me. I noticed them; they're hanging from the trees, and they're so. But I guess I suppose if you could just reach out maybe to Mara, but I don't know if there's anything that she can do. To be honest.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I don't know anything that can be done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I feel
And
like
the other thing too,
one of our members, so I feel like we need to, you know, take it seriously.
sure, yeah. The other thing too, has the street sweeper been in Creemore yet?
Yeah.
The actual street sweeper?
Yes.
So it's a sidewalk then that just needs done. So yeah, I just reach out to Dan on that. I'm sure he'll look after it.
Yeah. He's pretty responsive, Dan, so no problem. Okay.
Another thing maybe we could do is encourage, I certainly believe that, Jen, like we need to make sure that you're cleaned up, but I also think that the individual businesses could maybe take a moment and get out there and sweep and remove weeds. I know
I just have a lot of sidewalk, like that
Yeah.
whole side is huge and it takes out, you know, if I have done it where it's been like the leftover winter dirt and it didn't get done for whatever reason. And honestly, I don't know that I have time this year to be out there. Like, I'm like, I guess I'll come on a Sunday, but then I've been working some Sundays, so I don't know.
Yeah, I paid
And
Jason.
I think, why should I have to in
I
a
paid
way?
Jason- yeah, I paid Jason yesterday for 2 hours, and to power wash it, we had to borrow the power washer, to borrow the hose and everything just to clean the patio, but it was actually cleaning the sidewalk and underneath the patio and actually the parking lot that everybody else is parking. So it's like, we are doing our job.
Yeah.
It's like-
So maybe if the issue here is that we're not allocated time in the budget, maybe we could even ask the municipality if we can compensate. I don't know, but we do need the street sweeping to happen more than just the once or twice a year. The spring is particularly grimy. So yeah, I think if Lori talks to Dan, we'll be able to figure something out.
Yeah. Last year they did it.
Spend your time doing that.
Last year I was really impressed with Dan's team. They did it
Yeah.
more than I'd ever seen it in 6-7 years. And so
Yeah.
I think 4 or 5 times. And I told him
Wow,
how
that's
great it was and how we appreciated it. So, you know, if I could just remind him about that and see if they can get back into that routine, that would be great.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about in terms of street decor is the wonderful group of ladies spearheaded by Cheryl Robertson out of Creemore House of Stitches, that are the quilting ladies, local quilters around town, and they have been making bunting for us. So they have been cutting up little triangles of fabric in beautiful lavender shades with florals and light lavender colors, and they've been sewing them all for each single store. So everybody's window in everybody's store is going to have this wonderful lavender bunting to use during our sort of lavender decor event. So she will probably be bringing those. We again, like Sarah says, we were aiming for the 15th on this as well. They're done. That's the good news, but they haven't been distributed yet. So I'll ask Cheryl if she's able to move up the time. She may need 1 or 2 helpers to walk the street. She's got all of the bunting labeled and she knows how many windows every store has, and they've made a piece for every single window. It's kind of amazing. It's a ton of organization. And then everybody's sewn their own pieces and they've all come together and brought it in. So she might just need help distributing it. She's got everything labeled. She's like a little bag for each store, each business. And we might just need to help her. So if there's anyone who has a bit of extra time that wants to help Cheryl to distribute, just let me know. So hi, Sarah, do you have a question about the bunting?
Not about the bunting. Another thing we need help with is I'm going to need help getting the purple chairs put around and also pulling the benches from the park and bringing those over as well. So
those were supposed to be refurbished. Did they get refurbished or were they sitting in the park all winter? We talked to somebody about that months ago.
That would have, I think that would have been Terry. I think it would have been his summer staff. They don't seem to have done anything with them unless they've moved them recently.
I'm happy to help you move the purple chairs. I can take my truck. It's easier with a pickup truck.
I can donate a truck, but I don't think I have the time. So.
Okay, I usually have a truck and trailer, but my truck is full of stuff that's heading north. So a truck is helpful. I imagine actually Bob Brandt's here. I'll call him up. He said that if we needed help, and then we could do it all in one fell swoop. But Robbie of the pizza place, who it's my understanding is no longer there anymore. She sold the business. Whoa. She was going to be my helper on that one. So I'm looking for a new helper there.
Okay.
I can help. Thank you, Linda.
Sure.
Okay. I'm good for evenings. Evenings are better for me right now. I don't know about you guys.
I can help on an evening too.
Evenings.
Okay.
If that's like after the store kind of sort of closes. I'm much more available then, so I don't mind any night this week if you want to. Are they painted? Are they finished painting, or do we need a couple more days?
I think we need a couple more days. I think Patrick at the hardware store said he would help put them together, so I think that might be the holdup. But I'll figure that out.
Yeah, Sarah, if you want to walk over, I'll go over with you at one point, and we can check everything out and see what needs to be done, and then divvy up the work. I'm happy to help. Okay, so lots going on street decor. It's really great to see it all coming together. It's just all been planned for the 15th. So, okay, events, we don't have any, but we are thinking, maybe I'll put it in there. We're talking about sidewalk sales in the summer, and Linda and I were kind of having a side discussion about that. There was Linda, yeah.
Lori, I have Canada Day on mine.
And Canada Day is another event we can talk about. So maybe we'll do Canada Day because that's coming up before sidewalk sale season. So Jen, did you want to talk about Canada Day?
I can quickly,
Yeah.
honestly, I think Sarah's probably better equipped to handle it. We had been approached by Stayner Chamber of Commerce to participate in a group promotion for Canada Day. And we agreed that we would try to pull something together. We just weren't exactly sure what. So I think last year they did a home decor contest. And I thought rather than a contest, just maybe have families show their spirit and decorate their homes just in general and not have it be a contest. And then I got thinking about what we could do for the kids, because I think that Canada Day has been a big day in Creemore for the kids and the big kids. And I didn't want to lose that. Like, we always have the bike parade, and then they go down to the Legion. There's games at the Legion. There's the ball hockey tournament, and then the fireworks. And none of that can happen again this year. So I was trying to think of what we could do. And I thought maybe a scavenger hunt around town. So Sarah kind of jumped in and agreed to help me with that, because I have never done anything like this before. And so she came up with a great idea and had asked Lori Copeland to maybe help us with some brainstorming on that. So we thought maybe we would have a theme of be a hero, be a hometown hero, and go around town to the different major sites in town and have attributes of what a hero is, and then with a clue leading them to another spot. Sarah also had a great idea of tying into a donation to the hospital. Because Sarah, what are they running right now? They're running a campaign, like their
campaign. So because they can't run their major fundraising campaigns, what they're asking is for community members to run their own or create their own initiatives that are fundraisers. So this, if we're able to do it, which I don't know if we are, we as the Creemore BIA could solicit donations from businesses if they choose to donate. I mean, I know many businesses are suffering, but there are other businesses within the BIA, like our realtors and others, that have not really struggled throughout this. So we might lean on them a little bit. And then we could, the BIA could maybe offer a donation B, encourage our community to donate, and then C, also bring awareness to the campaign. So it would be a way to bring that forward and be a real community leader in helping out the hospital.
That's super cool. I love that. Can you do that as a virtual scavenger hunt somehow?
So the idea was that at each location, there would just be a poster with an attribute and maybe a QR code that would send them to some organization that's leading the way. So, you know, maybe talk, like I maybe got a little bit political in my brain, the way I went, but, you know, talking about different, honesty, caring, these sort of kind of attributes. And then, anyway, Lori Copeland had some really great ideas around it. And I was hoping we could get her to actually implement, because I don't have time to implement, and neither does Jen. Unfortunately, neither does Lori. So it's a fairly simple idea, but it still takes a person to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't have as much time, but I think that maybe, you know what, if the kids will be involved to say, let's say they have a lemonade stand in front of my place, and then and we will, I will be happy to match the same price what they sold. I'll look into that. I think that will be okay. You know, I can't, you know, I want to take that on to maybe we can do something with involve the kids, the group of kids.
I'm just concerned with the regulations as far as how many people can gather outside. I don't know how many kids would show up, and if you have like a whole bunch of kids at one poster at one time, I'm just concerned as far as following the.
So the way we would do it, so having navigated this sort of thing with the stationary Santa Claus parade, it's outdoors. Some of the information we were given about from Amanda in terms of creating activations, I guess is what they're called, during COVID, were self-guided at their own time with the ability to physically distance and wearing masks. So I think we can easily meet all 4 protocols with the scavenger hunt, because it would be available all day. However, the big problem is who's going to who's going to do the creative on it, and who's going to bang it in. I think it's about 10 hours worth of work. And I had really hoped that Lori Copeland could have done that for us, because she has all the skill sets, and I know she would have implemented it beautifully, but I don't think she's able to do it. So as good an idea as it is, unless we have somebody to actually take it on, I don't know.
Is there another community group that we
I'm thinking Purple Hills, because they got nothing going on. And they
I
got
was almost wondering about Jess Tamlin. Like, if I approach Jess, do you think, Sarah?
Jess is on Purple Hills, isn't she?
Yeah, and then she could maybe.
I mean, so things I guess we could use from the board that could help us move forward would be, there was no money specifically allocated for Canada Day. So an allocation would put Jen and I in a position that if we were able to find the person to implement this, that we could move forward. But I mean, we're really realistically, we're looking at we'd want to start promoting this Friday.
Yeah.
So, no, you know, I think the concepts, it is simple. It is like a poster on an A-frame at each place with a, you know, something cute that just sends them around town. Like, it's not difficult. And at the end, our big idea was that there'd be a mirror and that says, you can be a hero, and they could look at themselves. We would encourage them to dress up like superheroes and ride their bike around, which is the tie into the old,
the bike parade.
The bike parade. So, you know, and our push to the community would be that we can't do our usual bike parade, but this is what we're doing instead, because throughout this pandemic, we've been the community leaders that have maintained traditions that have, you know, in creative ways. So there's a lot of great reasons to do this. It's just not a lot of time to do this.
Yeah. So if we make a motion now and allot some funds, what do you think? How much funds?
I think if we wanted to pay somebody to do it, which is, I think, the only way that this job would get done. Jen, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody
Really?
else.
You don't think Jessica Tamlin, who has young children, would volunteer? Like,
in a week and a half, summer while her kids are homeschooling with her? No.
You said it's like 10 hours. Pretty simple. I don't know.
But Beth might be willing to do it if she's paid. So, you know, and I think that this is a reality that we need to come to terms with, is that we can't lean on a very small body of volunteers.
What about Darcy Q?
I suppose, I mean, she could easily illustrate that. And she, that's not, that may work. Yeah, she'd be keen on it, actually.
Yeah.
I could talk to her.
Question about the QR code. As much as I love the idea, I feel like that might be a lot to implement, but also, will kids have phones?
Kids have phones, parents have phones, and they would be QR codes only if, or it would be standalone. And if we wanted to do something like point them to the hospital foundation or something like that, we could include QR codes. So it wouldn't be that.
It's not important for the scavenger hunt that you use the QR code, is what I'm understanding.
No, not at all.
Information to follow along. Okay, yeah, okay, that totally makes sense. Because otherwise, if you if kids didn't have phones, I was trying to figure that out. Okay.
No.
So what do you think? Like, is $500 enough, or?
I think if we're looking at 10 hours of somebody's time, that's 200. Promotion 150. That's 350, and then
printing.
So I think 750 would probably be reasonable.
Why don't you say 1,000 and then hopefully they'll bring it in at 750?
Yeah, if we can get it done. Like, I honestly don't know. We're a little late to the game here, but we have pulled off more ridiculous schemes.
Oh yeah.
Hey Jackie, what are you doing? I know you do.
I wish I was a little bit closer. It makes the logistics of that a little more complicated. And then, you know, I think it'd be great if it was somebody, like you said, who could actually produce the artwork, right?
Well, that's what we want. We want something that can take it kind of from the very beginning to the very end. And that's why I had hoped Lori Copeland could do it, because she's
because she could have done both for sure. And Jess might, I don't know, put it out to Jess and Darcy Q. And I don't know if there's anybody else you can think of. What about Ruth Ann?
The thing is I think Ruth Ann might be keen on the illustration, but I think the concepts would have to be fully fleshed out.
Oh, okay.
So I think we need somebody who would be
to take over the whole thing.
Yeah, to be a little bit more collaborative, actually helping write the thing from start to finish.
Yeah.
But
well, since you don't have very many events this year, I'm sure there's some funds. Should we make a motion to allot $1,000 to this, and hopefully somebody can pursue it, and if not, then the money can just go back in.
I have a suggestion just for plan B if we can't find anyone to do it. What if we just did something really simple, like kids decorate their bikes and maybe they ride around town on their own or something, and there's a specific time, kind of like the Santa Claus parade, where they have their bike all decorated and they all go out in town and drive around. Is that crazy?
Specific times are problematic, but I think no matter what, we should encourage kids to get on their bikes in memory of the Crawfords.
Yeah, and I agree to decorate. Like, the kids would love that part.
Yeah.
Like we could even buy decorations or something, and I don't know if that's even impossible, and just sort of have like a bank of decorations where kids could draw from if they didn't necessarily have their own. I don't know. I was just thinking something super simple. I like the scavenger hunt idea, but I agree it's in 2 weeks, and it's
the other part of this is
we're all opening our stores right now. Like, it's crazy.
The chamber called me today. Like, is it Kay from the chamber?
Yeah.
He called me today because we need to have some sort of marketing for the poster that they're putting together. So I have to tell them something that we're by tonight or tomorrow. And the other part of this was she said that the library was interested in helping us as well. So that
interesting.
If the library would take on the scavenger hunt, that would be awesome. They have staff, they want to implement programming, they might be able to pull off. That would be awesome.
Okay, so do you want me to go back to Michelle with that? Okay.
Could we do something really general for the ad that just says Creemore scavenger hunt, details on our website or something like that?
How about we could do something? We could just do something would be hop on your bike and have a super day, and the image could be a kid on a bike in a superhero costume, and it would be, like that could be the thing. I've talked to people who are struggling a little bit with patriotism at this point, and I think that's why I think we could maybe push the bike parade, the heroism, and on Canada Day.
Yeah.
You know, because I do.
I think there should be an Indigenous, I think there should be a strong Indigenous kind of part of this as well.
Well, I definitely, if I were making the scavenger hunt, I would make understanding the land that you live on.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that there's ways to kind of to do these things. But I love the idea of the library. Jen, you'll reach out to the library. Why don't we're gonna go to all the channels all at once, and something will happen. How's that? And if we can have $1,000 allocation, then we know that we can move forward.
So why don't we make a motion right now? Sarah, would you like to put the motion forward that says, be it resolved that the BIA approve up to $1,000 in spending for a Canada Day event? Not
Sure.
event, a Canada Day program.
Sure.
Okay, and Jen, would you like to second it? As you're both sort of the ones
Yes,
that know.
sorry.
Okay, and all in favor? Yeah, okay, great.
My only caution would be to be super careful if you're involving the Indigenous thing. It's so raw and so emotional and nothing to trifle with. Like you can't make light of it in any way.
Oh
It's,
no.
you know
That's
what I
why.
mean? Like it's, yeah.
But also I think a lot of people struggle with celebrating Canada Day right now in light of all that's going on and
You know,
celebrating.
it's still one of the best countries in the world to live in. So,
True.
you know,
Mhm.
we're not who we were.
Where is it? Sorry.
I think acknowledgement, a land acknowledgement, is one of the tenets of reconciliation. So I think that we can feel really confident and comfortable with that, and we will. But if there is concern about that, I can bring it back to somebody if we do incorporate that into anything.
Yeah.
Do you know who to go to for the land acknowledgement?
I can talk to John Miller.
I don't know who to go to about that. Okay. These are all details that can be worked out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So motion has been approved and we can move forward. Is there any other comments finally on the Canada Day programming, or can I move on? Okay, I'm gonna move on. Okay, so then Linda, I'm gonna pull you in. So we talked about, you and I had sort of a sidewalk conversation about sidewalk sales. And we discussed whether, so apparently from your last meeting, there was some discussion about whether we close the streets, Mill Street and or Caroline Street, or just Mill Street for part of the summer, for Saturdays, Friday nights, who knows? Like, it was just a discussion out there about whether we do a street closure so that people can social distance a bit more. The pubs and the restaurants and the cafes can use part of the street to put some of their tables and chairs on. It doesn't sound like there's a ton of interest in closing the streets right now, Linda. I'll pass
Yeah,
it.
from what I've gathered so far, that has sort of taken a back road a little bit, so it's not so much a necessity, or it might be more trouble than it's worth. But I personally still, as we discussed, I really like the sidewalk sale idea, just because to me it makes sense to just, like, this past Saturday I was walking around town and all of the people that are on the sidewalks, there's just no room for them, and to me it would, make sense to be possible to maneuver around it on Saturdays or on Friday evenings or whatever. Yes, Jen.
I know, like, we were walking with our dog, and right in front of where the hoarding is, like, people were looking at the artwork and they were literally taking up the whole sidewalk. So then we left the sidewalk to go around, and a car was just starting to pull out, and it was just like a disaster. But yeah, it's crazy right now. So
Yeah.
And with reopening, it's just going to get crazier.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
There could be an option where you don't actually, an option instead of closing the entire street is maybe on, you're thinking just Saturdays or something, Linda? Was that, yeah, like just Saturdays?
Yeah.
Maybe, why don't
Yeah.
you do like a one way, like one lane, one way on Saturdays? And then you can take part of, on each side, extend the sidewalks further out and just have one lane, one way. So you can still have traffic going through and you can still have lots of pedestrian traffic room for extra social distancing. And
Certainly something we can investigate. Doug McKechnie?
Yeah, so Jackie, are you saying like Mill Street would just be one lane? So let's say the people would go down, go south on Mill Street, and then if they wanted to go north, then they would have to go to one of the other.
you have to
like,
go
sites?
around. Yeah, like have it one way, one day a week, so that you can have on the busiest day of the week where you've got so many more people downtown. If you want more room for social distancing and more room for foot traffic, and still not discourage people from driving downtown. It's because bikes can still go downtown then, and cars, and it's a possibility. Something to think about. There's always more than one way to look at it. So.
Okay, well, no, that's fine. I was just thinking, from a counselor point of view, and, I'm not the counselor for Creemore, but, Tom Patterson, like if that occurs, Tom Patterson, I'm sure he's going to get lots of complaints from the people on the side streets, and I'm not sure which streets run parallel to Mill Street. But, so you're moving a lot of the traffic over there, and they'll be complaining, but, that's for Tom to deal with.
I'm always a big proponent of closing the street, even just for a Saturday or Saturday, Sunday, or part of a day. I think it's kind of a nice atmosphere to let people spread out, walk around, have a pedestrian area,
And then the emergency vehicle issue, and I don't know,
What about limiting parking to just one side of the street and encouraging people to park at Station on the Green? Because if you were able to make it so that instead of having 4 lanes, because currently we have 2 lanes of traffic plus 2 lanes of parking, and then we would only have 3 lanes, and that would give a little bit more breadth on at least one side.
Yeah. It's hard to police all these things.
And then who gets the good side, Sarah? Everybody's going to fight over who gets the good side.
We do it all the time in Toronto. In Toronto, every other month, you park on one side of the street, then you park on the other side of the street. It's a sign, and it happens all over.
Remember if it's garbage or recycling week. How are they going to remember which side of the street?
I know.
I think we could go gorilla on it, and everybody puts planters on the road. Nobody's hearing. This is not being sent out over the interweb, but just go rogue and stick stuff on the street, like some of our members do, and just make it work for us.
I'm all for that.
Quite honestly, I've had lots of conversations with Dan Perot, and he's been super supportive of the idea. So he's always said he'll work with us. He'll work through things with us. He'll work on safety. That's his key concern. He's not gonna, he's gonna be helpful and give us guidance and advice. So I think if we do it, I don't think we'll have a problem with Clearview putting up too many barriers there. Doug?
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, thank you, Lori. You're absolutely right. And it is a brilliant idea. There's a lot of great brainstorming going on here. I think you need to have a little workshop with Dan and iron out some of these questions with him, and maybe you'll come up with some great ideas that you can use and you can implement quickly and efficiently and inexpensively. Every time you make a little change, to Councillor McKechnie's point, somebody's not going to be happy, right? Yeah. So you just have to accept that going in and move ahead with a positive attitude that you're doing it for the right reasons. And so I don't know, I would suggest that maybe the BIA just host a little workshop with Dan and talk to him about traffic issues. And you can bring up the street sweeping, Jennifer, you can bring that up and have that in the conversation with him. And that way it'll help, maybe help him, to Sarah's point earlier about maybe setting up some longer times and different structures and different plans for how he can help the BIA from the public works roads point of view. Yeah. So, I mean, I think, Laura, you've already seen that he's very, very open to hearing what you'd like to do. And he's been very, very helpful for sure last year trying to get these patios set up. And, to be frank, he was kind of lenient, which is great, very helpful.
I see Dan all the time, and when he's in
Good.
Creemore, I see him on the street. We stop and have a sidewalk convo and talk about all these issues. So he's been really great with us.
You're doing a great job building that relationship with the people like that, and that's important. So good job.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so why don't we take this offline unless anybody else has any comments, and maybe form like a little subgroup again to take. I think we need to do more work here. The idea of having a sidewalk sale, and Linda had the idea that, you know, maybe it's a Friday night or maybe it's a Saturday sidewalk sale, but we literally close the road for the sidewalk sale. So also the retailers and the businesses maybe could put out clothing racks, or I don't know, like a table with sale items or something like that. It could be in July, or I don't know. It doesn't have to be in June. I don't think it can be. We're too busy.
We
But-
need to do any kind of street closures. We can't do anything until August. Like, I think if we really
You think?
require something like help from the municipality, I think planning for August might be the most realistic.
I don't think so. Honestly, I know, because I've had a lot of conversations with Dan, and it was actually his idea.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Some of these ideas were his. That's
Great.
sort of where some of it came from. And he said, look, I want to support the businesses. I know they've been through a rough time this year. And if there's something, you know, township can do to help you, that was literally the words out of his mouth. So I think he'd be more willing this year, knowing that we've all been closed for the better parts of the last 6 months, to help us out. So
I love Sarah's idea. I think that's brilliant. Flip-flop the sides. Just be fair. Each week, just park on one side, can't park on the other. I love it. And it keeps the traffic open. So you're not blocking the road. You're not pissing off the people driving, and people can still drive to pick up their groceries or their whatever they need to get. And I think that's still gives you lots of room.
Yeah, and we can use like the what do they call them? Stanchions or pylons?
Yeah, like you need some sort of
fencing.
Yeah, something to block off the traffic.
Actually, fencing is good, and the municipality has quite a bit of it.
Yeah,
The
they got
fencing,
tons of it.
those A-frame thingies, and that would be very easy to implement if Dan feels that it is legal.
So
Yeah.
let's go back to, in terms of the board, just to get a sense of what you guys are thinking. Do you guys like the idea of closing the road, or is anybody here for it or against it? Where are you guys all coming from?
I like the idea personally.
I think a full road closure causes a lot of conflict, but I think a modified use where we're able to utilize some of the street for pedestrians is a win for everybody.
Well, it keeps everybody somewhat happy, right? Because you do piss a lot of people off when you close the road, sadly.
I've been yelled at by people that were trying to get pills from the, like, these are like, this has been my experience. So I got yelled at by somebody who was trying to get pills at the drugstore. I've been yelled at somebody who wanted to pick up something at the hardware store.
Yelled at people that
When I was out there moving around those A-frame things for the Friday nights, I got like freaked out on all the time. So I'm very sensitive about this.
I know.
I had the Presbyterian church pissed off at me for parking issue, like there's all kinds of so it seems like it should be such a simple, wonderful thing to close the road, but in reality, it just, in my experience and Sarah's in the last 30 years, it's just a pain in the ass.
But
I mean, if you had a major event going on and you expected a lot of people and you need the road closed, that makes sense, right? But if you close the road and we're not allowed to have lots of people gathering, it's going to look like a ghost town. Like it's going to feel so empty, and it's going to feel like there should be sagebrush rolling through the streets.
Like, sorry, Jackie, I know you weren't here last Saturday, but holy smokes, for those of us that kind of semi-worked, I was in the store with it closed.
Yeah.
The streets were packed with people, packed.
Yeah.
Like it says, you couldn't go on the sidewalks without having to go on the street to go around people. It was packed.
That's crazy.
What they were doing, we were all closed.
Yeah.
Lori, we could go so far as to just have no mainstream parking and just put up those yellow barriers in front of all of the things, and then people could walk sidewalks, and then put another 4 feet, put out the yellow things, and then people just park, Foodland North and South of you and the brewery. But things, we'd have to talk to Sim, because then what would happen is everybody would go to his parking lot. So it would take alternating sides would probably be the most seamless.
What about the station on the green and also the arena? That's the parking designations. So Sunday parking in those two places, and it's walking. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
Hard
tell
to get people to walk from the arena. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay. So why don't we form a subcommittee? I don't know if you did this in the last meeting, so forgive me if you already did. Do you want to form a subcommittee to sort of study this a bit more?
It was formed in the last meeting, and Linda is heading it. So.
Okay. So is there anyone else that would like to join the subcommittee? Or Linda, I'm happy to work with you, and I'm happy to work with Dan Fro. I have that connection there. I can maybe create like a conference call or something with him so that we
That'd be
can.
great.
Yeah. So maybe we can get some more advice, and like he might just say no. Things have changed. We can't do that. So before we go too far, maybe we should just get his advice and then see what we can and can't do, and then we'll bring it back to the board.
I guess the direction that as a board, what we need to move fast. So I think giving Linda some clear directives in terms of what our goals are, or some ideas, rather than finding the solution at this table. I always know that that's really helpful for me when I got to walk away and figure something out. So what are we trying to accomplish here? Like what problem do we want you guys to solve?
I think the problem we're trying to solve is to give people more space.
Okay.
For the summer, for retailers, for restaurants, for pedestrians, for visitors, just space.
Perfect.
That's what we're trying to solve.
Great. So I think if we give Dan that problem to solve, I think he'll have some awesome ideas for us.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that's the main key. And then the other part of this, and sorry, Linda, I'll let you steal this away if you want, is the sidewalk sale idea that you had, and the potential maybe to do a sidewalk sale. And I'm talking like July. Let's get through the next 21 days, where Doug Ford has said, after 21 days, things will maybe change. And so, maybe we can plan for a sidewalk sale in end of July. I don't know. And then maybe
only 17 days. How about we make it only 17 days just to shake it up a little, right?
Yeah.
Right. And after 10,
Has anybody read ahead, like the different stages? Like, has anybody read what the
matter? It'll all change.
Just take it as it comes. You never know what's happening next.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Get a haircut at stage 2. What can I say?
Hanging in for that.
Does anyone else have any comments about closing the street or sidewalk sales? Or I kind of get a sense of there's some mixed ideas here.
I'm all for it. I just don't want, I just think finding the most realistic, if we're going to do it regularly, like every Saturday, I don't think a street closure is going to make us very popular.
No.
So I think we need to find a compromise that helps us solve the problem without going too grand with it. But I think for having a big sidewalk sale, I would support, a bigger closure.
And I think Linda is fairly new, but the hardware store has always been an issue with a road closure. They've always been against a road closure. It reduces their business considerably, and they're very busy in the summer. So
there's new owners there though. So I think there's an opportunity to talk to Sarah and Patrick, because they're a lot more community minded than the last owners. I think they're very open to helping and to, working with us. So I think it's an opportunity for us to talk to some of these bigger anchors, Jen being one of them, the brewery, and Home Hardware, and just get their opinions.
Yeah, and I guess it's just mostly coming from Europe, where you just generally you do not park in front of any store. You find a place to park your car, and then you're on foot. Yeah. And so that's pretty much what I'm used to. And I personally think it's a really nice thing to also get a little bit of physical exercise whilst browsing the stores and stuff like that. So that's my personal opinion. And the towns where I come from, where that's practiced, it's always been a really good and a really positive thing. And I was talking to somebody from Aurelia this weekend, and they said that they've done it last year. They did it a few times, that they closed the roads on, I'm not sure if it was Friday night or Saturday during the day. But it turned out, you know, they have, of course, had to be very cautious that it wasn't an event as such, but people had the space and they were able to maneuver around, and it turned into a really positive thing. And so that's what they're planning. I think, I'm not sure if it's this weekend or next weekend, but they will be having those events again. And I think it's a good thing, especially when I mean, I have to chuckle a little bit because when I see Creemore, their blocks are like,
I know.
If you have to park around the corner from something, then you're walking maybe a minute and a half. But yeah, that's just me.
Hey, Linda, I just want to say I agree 100% with everything you're saying. I just wanted to warn you about what you might be up against. But honestly, if Patrick and Sarah are fine with the closure, then you know, I don't think that.
Well, I think you better be a little more inclusive than just Patrick. I think you better talk to each one of those businesses before you actually take the step. Like each one.
After hours, guys. Right? After hours, we are closing the businesses, so they are not open.
But what's the point of having the street closed after hours?
Yeah,
it's a bonus to the business to open after hours. But it's
I can't even staff my store right now. I don't.
Anyway, we've also had trouble with night street events. It's true, but maybe we start with a day event and then see if we can't expand it. Maybe the Friday night events like we used to have. Maybe we close the street and the stores get to open Friday nights. I don't know. These are the questions we can put towards our membership. Maybe we put a little survey together on Facebook or on MailChimp and see what comments we get and feedback.
What if we do it on the side street, like Caroline or Elizabeth, right? So
the goal, as we said, was
side street.
The goal is to ensure that we have pedestrian movement and where the pedestrians are. So closing a street where they're not.
Yeah, and a space to put out like clothing racks and other things in front of your business. So I don't think the side street would address that.
You might want to put a tent out. Like maybe Jen, I know she uses tents sometimes. She might want to put a table and a tent outside, you know, or somebody wants to put a tent outside where people are waiting to get in. Because let's be honest, we can only put 2 or 3 people in our stores now. So maybe we want to put a tent out there so that people can have some shade while they're standing in the hot sun waiting to come in the stores.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, just thinking about these sorts of things. So, and then we can put our Muskoka chairs on the street too, which would be really cool.
Which would be really awesome.
Maybe we could just stick our Muskoka chairs on the street and then nobody can park there.
Yeah.
We could just put benches and Muskoka chairs and we'll see what happens.
Are you doing it?
Right, I know we're taking a lot of time with this, but I think it's important because we haven't done a lot of programming this year. So this might be a real addition to some of our programs. So it's good to hash it out because we don't get to get together anymore. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this section of the program and leave it to me and Linda to go ahead and see what we can come up with and hopefully come back to you by email because it may be too long before the next meeting. So we'll try to maybe communicate by email, or if we need to have another short convo, maybe we can have a conference call or something. Okay, any more for events? I don't think so. I don't think there's any public participation. That might have been Pierre, and he was here earlier. Financial report with Sarah. You've sent us some profit and loss documents. It looks like we're in pretty good financial shape right now, obviously not doing events. Nice some of the income coming in.
So general donations are up. What we're seeing, the difference is because of the chairs and a donation from the foundation. The levy income, that's just a bookkeeping thing. Although we haven't seen any of the money from the municipality yet. I got a follow up from them. The membership is over. We neglected to budget or show in this budget our OBIAA
dues.
So that it sits here. I apologize for that. We have finally cashed the check and are the proud owners of the Santa Claus parade float. That's the Christmas. Kayla, thank you. You're doing a great job. If you could just scroll down to the marketing. The marketing, the campaign and events, that is Mother's Day print. That $400 is for the design of our
Lavender.
that Ruth Ann did. Social media, that's various things, including the Share the Love stuff. Website, that's just general maintenance and upkeep. The flowers are paid for. Furnishing, that $1,300 shows the cost of the chairs and the plaques to go on them. It does not show the cost of the paint and stuff. That will be in the next report. And then the garbage bins, garbage labor, supplies, it's all there. So yeah, so places that we haven't spent yet, the maintenance that is underway but hasn't been done yet in the beautification, and the billboards, we haven't spent there yet, so that's Heather.
And also the washrooms, I suppose that will go, it hasn't been spent yet, has it?
It hasn't been spent, and this is the original budget, and it doesn't show the amendment. I don't actually know how to do that. I'll have to ask Kayla. So when we do make an amendment, like for Canada Day, I don't know how best to reflect that in this budget, but maybe Kayla can help me with that, so that's a little bit better. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. So we're in great shape. And then you can see when you look at the balance sheet that we have plenty of money in the bank, with money still owing to come in. So yeah, that's where we're at financially.
That's great, Sarah. Thank you for doing all that work. Okay, any questions about the balance or the P&L at this point?
Just the comment, it's nice that you saved $900 on your flowers. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I don't know how that happened.
think that it's not actually saved. I think it's just the way we budgeted it. I think the 900 is for the seasonal changeover.
Oh,
That money will still be spent before.
gotcha.
Yeah. And in fact, we actually ended up doing 40 planters instead of 35. So I don't know if that may have to be amended.
She didn't change the price and the bill's been paid. So I can't say enough about Heidi and how cooperative they were. And I'm really looking forward to this new relationship that we have.
Wow.
Yeah.
They did a great job. Honestly, they look beautiful. I hear so many nice compliments all the time from people on the street. So
Nice.
way to go, Sarah, and organizing that with Heidi. You guys did a great job.
And it'll be better next year because they'll be grown in the pots. So it'll be good.
Yeah.
No, it's great. They look beautiful. And it's nice to see the purple lavender coming through.
Mhm.
Why don't we take a few minutes to talk about the lavender get together that Sarah and I are working on with Lavender, Purple Hills Lavender for the BIA members.
I haven't done anything on that yet.
Oh, we did. Good.
That's a short conversation.
Yeah, we had a meeting on Thursday or Friday with a Zoom meeting with Jessica and Emma from Purple Hills Lavender. And one of the things we really wanted to do, and we talked about this 6 months ago, thinking that we would not be in the situation we are right now, is that we wanted to have a BIA get together where we could do a meet and greet, maybe offer a glass of something and a little snack, so that all the members, including some of our newer members, could kind of meet each other, get to know each other. And we wanted it to take place outdoors at the Purple Hills Lavender Farm, which is sort of, works with our theme and everything else. And they were more than happy to host us and to allow us to use their property for this event. Now with this sort of, restrictions and things, we've sort of changed the way we're going to do it. They will no longer be able to offer beverages or snacks. But what we can do, and Sarah, correct me about the date. Oh,
I think it's the 20th.
20th or 21st.
I think we went back and forth on it. And
We'll
then I
have
think
to confirm, but we're working with them on a date where groups of 10 or less BIA members can sign up and go up to Purple Hills Lavender and have a self-guided tour of the farm and ask any questions about the farm and take some beautiful photos if you so want to, and just sort of get an evening out to get a bit of fresh air and some inspiration and just get out of your business for a bit, and hopefully meet a few other BIA members in a group of 10. And so there'll be several groups of 10 throughout one evening. So starting at 5, I don't know if it's every hour or so.
hours, she said.
Was it an hour? Yeah. So 5, 6, 7, that kind of thing. And then everybody gets a chance to kind of go up there, so that, because that's something that they would normally charge for, and they're willing to do that free of charge for BIA members, so that they can go up and just sort of, get some inspiration. We were hoping that, hopefully they can, talk to each other, because we haven't been able to talk very much as a BIA lately. So that's what we're planning on doing. Sarah, did you have anything to add on about that? We haven't really rolled it out yet.
I have a second to think about it. I think we also maybe talked about the possibility of sending people up with a little goodie bag, so that they could actually still enjoy the drink, but they would pick up their goodie bag and go from there. So, but I love the idea of our members getting together even like this. And Lori, I think you also talked about sending out a photographer on behalf of the BIA, and maybe getting some shots with our BIA members visiting the farm. I think the benefit to the members here is that hopefully we're going to experience a volume of visitors, and then we will really understand the customers at the lavender farm, and we'll be able to better serve them, and they'll be able to use our businesses better. So I think it's fun.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was supposed to be something to kind of get us out of the winter and sort of launch the spring summer season. So here we are. So it's just going to be slightly amended in the way we're doing it, is sort of our kickoff to the lavender and the summer and all that. So does anyone have any comments or questions about that? Sort of, we're going to roll it out in the next day or two. Sorry, I probably should have worked on it today as well, Sarah, and I didn't.
I don't have a minute. Like it's everything's insane right now.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll try and get that out as soon as possible. You'll see an email. So, and then there'll be some sort of a sign up where you can sign up, because we need to keep everyone's name and I think email or phone number, so that because of the protocols with the health unit.
Okay. Who's managing the email list?
Me, sort
Can
of.
you add me to the email? I don't get any of the emails.
You're not on it?
No.
We haven't done a lot recently, to be honest, because there hasn't been a lot going on. So
we've been really using that Facebook group, but
yeah,
but it's not good enough. Like it's not official enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add you on.
Awesome. Thanks.
Sorry, I thought you were on.
That's okay. I was on before as 100 Mile, but I haven't been on since. Yeah.
Okay. Marketing, I think that's sort of what we talked about with lavender. So we have an ad coming out in On the Hills, in the Hills, sorry, publication just sort of just south of Creemore. And thanks to a grant that we also shared with Clearview Township, we're going to have a lovely quarter-page ad in that publication. So we're looking forward to seeing that. And that is part of the artwork that we had Ruth Ann Pierce create for us, which is also part of the rat card, the artwork for the ad. So that's exciting. And as well as Joey and Travis and I are working very hard at getting all the videos done of all the businesses. Not everyone's business will be done yet, but slowly but surely we're trying to get them all done. Joey is our student photographer and Instagram kind of manager at the moment, and he's still in school. So he can only do it, when he's here and he's available. He's trying to wrap up his grade 12 year. So he's very busy at the moment, but he'll be back in the swing of things soon and be coming around to the other businesses he hasn't done to create that little 15-second video reel, which have been super popular on the Creemore, Ontario Instagram page. Okay, I think that's about it for marketing. New business. Jackie, would you like to talk about the historical tasting tour of Creemore?
I'd love to talk about it. So Patty Cleary approached me. She ran this previously, did a private kind of dining experience. But I think her farm's going to be listed for sale soon. So she's not going to be around much longer, but I think she wanted to leave this, and I won't call it a legacy, but she just thinks it's already set up, the Champlain Slept Here campaign. So it's a federal government program. There's a website. If you put an event on it, Creemore was actually designated by them. It wasn't our choice. They were part of the Champlain Trail. So that starts in Ottawa and goes, I don't know, down. It goes over by Midland, and then we're the most westerly point, I think, on it. It's a guided historical walking tour, including a tasting component ending at the brewery. So essentially it's about 2 hours. It's an online booking. What they're looking for from the BIA is support and endorsement in the form of a link on the website that goes to the Eventbrite ticketing, because it's a ticketed tour. And financially, if we wanted to contribute for some printing, so they're printing the map as well. It sounds like it's a pretty easy no-brainer thing, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I can't believe that we don't have a food trail or a food tour already in Creemore. And whereas it would take a lot of work to go from scratch, and I think developing our own, I think this would be a good way to kind of get known, hopefully, for a food trail or food tour. And then I can't see, and this is my own personal opinion, and don't spread this any further, I can't see Patty Cleary sticking with this and having continuity. This is my own personal opinion. But I think it's a good starting point for Creemore to get in on that thing, and it's way past due. And then perhaps if she drops it, the infrastructure is already in place, and it wouldn't be too hard to build on that already. So you could even drop the historical tour part of it. But that ties into French tourism, looking to bring French visitors to the area. However, being on the website, it's obviously open to anybody. So I don't know what you guys think about it. I think,
Hey guys, you know what?
it's too easy.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tired today, but it's the I did that last year with the Champlain slept here. Amazing time, great thing at the Sugar Shack.
Yeah.
But I don't have a time to be open to people just coming here for a taste of my restaurant.
Yeah.
I would have to have another person here to serve them. I don't have it.
Yeah.
So,
It would run on Thursdays from 10 until noon.
I was like, Patty, I'm not in.
Yeah.
However, I will help as much as I can, but I'm not in.
Yeah, and that's okay, Oda. She already let me know that you weren't in. There are 7 other, actually 8, including the brewery locations that are interested.
Beautiful.
So the pub, Chez Michel is a definite in, obviously the French connection there. Lori at the pizza place, the new bakery, the new Creemore kitchen, if they're open in August or September, would be interested. The tour is only going to run till Labor Day weekend, and it's only 1 day a week. 100 Mile was interested, the Bank Cafe is interested, and the brewery. So there are enough locations that are interested to run it. They want to maximize it, like the time to 2 hours. So it's about an hour historical and a maximum of an hour for the sampling. So
And it's all self-guided.
it's not, it's a guided historical tour. There you have a guide. A uniform guide who will take you through and tell you the history of Champlain. It includes the Indigenous history of the area as well, and the food component. I will sort of try and help coordinate that so that all the bits and bytes and samples are not obviously overlapping or not pairing well with each other.
So are you managing this with Patricia, or
I've only agreed to present to the BIA and to coordinate the food providers, the samples. So
You volunteer, just heads up.
Volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody's volunteer. So
Okay, good.
and I'm not sure, it will be a ticketed event. So if there are some restaurants when they do their samples that need to get a small compensation to be covered for it, then there is some money available to compensate them for.
and it's every Thursday from 10 to 12?
That's the plan. Ideally they would love to start July 1st, but again, it's that hit the ground running thing. So although all their signage and all their logos and everything is pretty much done, they have the Champlain Sub-Tier Trail signs already. It's just they got to get their website up, and we'd have to nail down all the restaurants that want to be and food providers that want to be involved. So it might not start till the middle of July. And like I said, it would run till Labor Day, till the Thursday before Labor Day weekend. So
Well, to me, it sounds like if our members are interested, some of you are on this meeting, then I think we should support it. If you've already got some interest from our members, certainly the BIA should endorse it and support it. We could certainly put it on our website as an experience in Creemore.
yeah.
Are they looking for money from the BIA?
They would like some money if you guys are open to it. Anybody have a number that they feel is?
Well, what are they doing?
Uh-huh.
What are they?
They're gonna social media marketing, the printing of the maps, the local historical maps, and I don't think they're going to do magazine, newspaper paid for print advertising. Like I said, the social media, their own website, and which is tied, of course, to the Champlain Subtier website. And then Patty's going to make all the same connections that she made previously with the dinners that she was running before, which they actually had a television piece on them done last time. So I think she's willing to put some work in. It sounds like it's pretty minimal on the BIA's part. It doesn't sound like we really have to do anything except put the link on the website and just show that we support it. And I think we show that by our members who are actually interested in being on it. So,
Yeah. Yep.
I don't know, like
So
$500.
I'm just trying to think numbers, I guess. Do you think it would be between 10 and 12 on a Thursday? Is it a group of 10 coming through? Because that's all.
There's a maximum of 10 people in the group. So 10
every Thursday.
And every Thursday, they won't run it if there's only 2 people. So they'll do a notification. The 6 p.m. the night before is cut off. And so they'll let everybody who's involved know who's coming after 6 p.m. on the Wednesday, as far as numbers for Thursday.
So potentially that's 80 people we're talking throughout the summer, which is not a big number.
It's not.
A little bit helps.
I'm not sure if what they would do is if they had more interest, if they would run more than 1 tour a day. I'm not sure. And they are limited because of COVID, right? You just can't have,
of course,
groups. So anyway, I don't know if it's I just think it's a good idea to get us going in a food trail, a food tour, somehow to start that without having to put all the work in.
I'm willing to talk off-site on this one. Just
With that?
No, I want to talk about this, but not on the line. So, because I was involved last year in the full operation, so I'm happy to talk about it, but not online right now.
Online right now. Okay, so maybe there needs to be.
I was running all the shows last year. Okay.
You did all the dinners.
Yeah, there was lunches, but yeah.
Oh, lunches, yeah.
But not online.
Okay.
Does anyone have any suggestions about the money? Is anyone? I'm not super keen on giving a lot of money at this point, but because I feel like for 80 people, $500 is a lot. But
drop it to 200. You know what I mean? Like that's what we're here figuring out. What is it worth to us as a BIA? Is it worth it to us? Like, I don't know.
Currently, we don't support any outside activities like this. I don't think that it's a bad idea to do it. I think that it's a good idea. I think we've talked about this before, and how do we structure our external supports? But if she had a program where it was like, be a sponsor and it's $100 and you get your logo and we could just buy in like anybody else, that would be awfully easy for us. Whereas this is a much harder conversation.
Yeah. Obviously the BIA logo would appear on her print material and in her.
Well, her print material, unless the BIA asks her to put it on there. Like the BIA logo is something that we own and should only go on when.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So no, that's assuming we support it. Then I think we'd have to make. I think we'd have to have some recommendations. More than just. Like I think we'd have to sign off on approved. Do you know what I mean? Like there's probably a few things that we would want to structure, right?
Yeah.
So we'd want to sign off on anything that our logo was going on, right? Whether it's social media or you know.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. I think that would be more comfortable for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are we prepared to put a dollar sign beside this tonight, guys? Or do you want to, do we need to have another conversation somewhere else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Conversation, thank you.
Why don't we form a quick little subcommittee? I don't know if that's appropriate here, and Jackie and Oda can get
Sure.
together and maybe we can discuss it sooner than later, because I realize if it's
Yeah,
starting.
it's time sensitive, right? Like either, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. So let's, if we can maybe circle back in a week or something by email, would that be okay? And if we have
You know what, like Oda and I, Oda, are you available tomorrow to have a chat?
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
talk tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, so if Oda, what is today? Tuesday. Okay, it's for me. It's Saturday number 4. You know, it's all Saturdays. So if Oda and I chat tomorrow, then I would like to circle back sooner, because if there's any chance of anything happening, I think the sooner the better. And it doesn't have to be 500. It could be a couple $100. Like, what do we feel? We have to decide what the value is to us. So
there is, yeah. I mean, there will be, if we support something like this, even doing the marketing and putting it on our social media and putting it on our website is a cost to us.
Yeah.
So also something that we would contribute in terms of funding, because we have to pay for all those things. Okay. You guys get back to us. Tell us if you need to have an emergency meeting to discuss it.
Okay.
To get a motion passed, we can do that. It doesn't sound like you have the appetite right now to pass a motion. So
no.
I'm going to just postpone that for the next week or so. Thanks, Jackie. Sounds really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I was actually surprised at how much interest there was from the restaurants and businesses in town. Everybody seemed pretty keen on it. So.
Oh, I've got a message from Kayla saying I should make a motion to create a subcommittee. Okay.
Yes.
So let's make a motion right now to create a subcommittee to just go a little bit further into the historical tasting tour of Creemore and our participation as a sponsor. And Jackie, would you like to lead the subcommittee?
Yes. And
who else would like to be on the subcommittee? Oda would like to be. Yeah. Is there anybody else? No? Okay, that's fine. We'll leave it at that. And you guys can get back to us with your findings, and we'll look forward to hearing from you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I forgot to pass the motion. All in favor? It's hot and it's late. I'm sorry. Okay, it seems like the motion's been approved. Okay, let's move forward. Next meeting. Okay, is there anything else under unfinished business? I know we're a bit sort of loosey-goosey here tonight, but who were the two that moved that? It was Jackie and Oda, I think.
I have so much unfinished business, guys.
What?
I got the chairs. I got it all. So much unfinished business.
A week for all of us involved, I think. So thank you very much. I'm grateful for all of you for being here for so long and paying attention. Thanks, guys. And call me, email me, text me. We'll keep in touch. And we'll see you next month if I don't see you on the street.
Okay.
Same place.
Yeah.
July 13th.
Did you make a motion to end the meeting?
Oh, gosh. Okay. That's who would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting? Oda would. And who would like to
second it?
Who's in favor of ending this lovely meeting? I think.
All in favor?
Okay. All in favor. Okay.